Humans have always been builders, but for the first time in history, this could all change.
The so-called AI slop all over the internet.
We're going to get to AI systems that are better than almost all humans.
AI will become better than people at most tasks in the next 10 to 20 years.
Since forever, all the stuff around us has been created by humans, for humans. We're now seeing that change with artificial intelligence, and this is only going to get increasingly more common. And one thing I've been thinking about is if AI can create things for us, what left is there for us to create? What will we create as humans? I think the main issue is AI actually becoming a better creator than us. If AI can create, let's say it can create paintings better than a human ever could, where does that leave us in terms of creation? Now, the first term I want to kind of address or mention is, you may have heard it before, it's the term AGI, which just stands for Artificial General Intelligence. And so that is the idea that we have an AI system that is as good or better than humans across a large array of domains or things. So they're really good at kind of everything in there. So they're smarter than all of us humans. As I see it, as we see these AI systems get better and better, this could actually be, despite all the negative commentary and very valid negative commentary from artists, is hey, we could have almost a renaissance of art here, because we have a hive of people who now have access to creation. Before, I couldn't go and make a Hollywood blockbuster, no matter what. It's pretty much impossible for me to go fucking create Fast and Furious 18 or whatever they're on, my version of that. But we're seeing with AI, that could be possible. And I think for sharing creation and sharing ideas and thoughts, that's quite exciting in a way. Hey, we're going to be able to share these ideas, and a lot of people, their ideas are going to get much more accessible. So we're going to have all this amazing new art. We'll see kind of less and less of us bound by the terms of capitalism or connections or nepotism, where we're able to just go and create content. The printing press democratized writing away from the churches. We're able to kind of get writing to a mass audience. We saw the original film camera democratizing painting. We've seen this before with social media. Before, it was much harder, before the internet and social media, to become an independent artist. And now we often see that with, things like SoundCloud and YouTube and TikTok. People are able to share, and, labels have less and less power. And it's a brilliant and amazing thing. I think a lot of people naively have kind of stated hey, AI art isn't art. It can never be art. I've kind of got 2 points to that. Is one, it won't matter. That argument won't matter, because if we can't even tell it's art, let's say right now you can tell it's art. Oh, this looks like AI. It's the AI slop kind of narrative. Yeah, but if you can't tell it's art in 10 years' time, it don't matter if you think it's art or not, because no one else can tell. The second argument, again, and it's kind of a cop-out argument, I will admit a little bit, but it's none of us are to say what is and isn't art. And we've seen that before. We've famously seen Marcel Duchamp's Fountain, that was the name of the piece, famously signed a urinal, and that was, he argued that was art, and that was kind of, that's a prime example of where we moved away as humanity. We've moved away from, a pretty picture being art, but more the message behind the art. And so, AI I see as just the medium for us to create, and the message is really the art. In this sort of AGI, coming back to this pre-AGI sort of world, I see humans taking more of a backseat in creation and being the tastemakers and conveying the message. AI can't feel emotions, or at least not yet, and so we'd be taking a back seat, or maybe the driver's seat. Maybe we're the managers of these AI systems, but we're not sitting there drawing as much. Obviously that art will still exist, just like painting still exists, just like every art form still exists in some form. But it's hey, a lot of art will be now done by AI, and we'll be deciding what looks good and what just doesn't. But despite all this, I don't want to be Sam Altman's shill. I think there'll be a huge amount of negative consequences. If you already go on so many sites, there's a huge amount of terrible AI content, and we all know that. It's kind of a known thing, this AI slop. And I think that's just going to get worse and worse and worse, to be honest. With anything, as anything becomes more accessible, the overall quality of that thing goes down. And so that's the same with creation here. We're going to see a shit ton more fucking shit stuff. But that's kind of the price you have to pay when things become more accessible, and as you can't gatekeep, because overall there will be a net benefit. We'll see interesting ideas kind of come across, and we'll see a fucking shit ton of shit work, and that's just reality. And now on to the kind of dreaded sort of, I don't know if it's dreaded, I don't know, it seems kind of harsh word, the post AGI world. So the post artificial general intelligence world. So that's when we have AI systems that are better than us or as good as us, and most, if not all, sort of like domains. And so that could be like, we'll kind of see the world rapidly change. One of the things that should be addressed is even if an AI system is slightly smarter than humans, that's able to scale up. AI, it doesn't sleep, it can run 24/7, it's able to create more of itself. So very quickly we can see AI systems rapidly improving. One concern I have is, are we even going to want to do things? Are we even going to want to do things that are hard? Because we all know, like, the most satisfying, it's a kind of like a fundamental law of humans. Things that are hard feel good to finally do. The most satisfying bits of creation is finally getting the thing working, or kind of making the thing that looks right, and that takes a lot of time. If AI is able to do that for us, where does that go? And that, I think that makes us quite human, is wanting to strive and struggle to create. I am concerned that we will lose that, is like we can just kind of like outsource hard work, discipline, and kind of thinking, to be honest. Another point I want to make is about personalized content. I am concerned that, let's say Netflix will use, there could be an example where a company like Netflix doesn't, purchase or make their own films anymore. They just own an AI system which creates the perfect film that we want to watch. And so we can no longer have our own communities online or in person and talk about the media or the art that we are consuming, because it's all completely different. It's all personalized to subconscious cues and subconscious things that we don't even know to keep us watching. We go, fuck, that was a 10 out of 10 movie, let's watch another 10 out of 10 film. And so I wondered, like, why would we consume human made content if AI does it 10 times better? Like, why would you watch a human film if you could be guaranteed to watch the best film that you've ever watched every single time? Think about how good social media already is at doing this. Like, someone's only got to sit on Rails 5 minutes, and you look down, you fucking spend an hour scrolling some bullshit. Imagine when you have autonomous, self-improving systems, or systems that are as smart as us, predicting what content we're going to want to watch. And I think there's something that needs to be addressed around, like, culture. Like, what does this do for our culture as humans? Like, we've always been able to share creation, media, music and things with each other, but if everything's personalized, we can't do that. There's no longer do we have those conversations of, fuck, did you watch that movie? That's good. Oh, have you seen this movie coming out? Like the Oppenheimer and Barbie sort of thing. That sort of, those cultural moments as humans, that kind of almost, like, funny enough, like, unite us as humans. Will we even sit and watch a film together? These AI systems, they probably could combine, personalized content from both, but it's like, you would now be saying, I'm going to watch a film that I won't like as much because I want to watch it with the person I care for, or a stranger, because you would have to, these systems would have to, also engage and create content that engages the other person. So I was like, are you going to do that? We already isolate ourselves from outside ideas or thoughts, and I think we're actually going to make that worse. We're kind of admittedly on social media a lot in our own echo chambers, and if you think you're not in an echo chamber, I promise you're in an echo chamber. So now we have personalized content and things. We're not even hearing ideas from people we agree with. We're hearing our own ideas or seeing our own ideas just straight back to us. It's almost like a mirror. Whereas kind of pre-social media, pre-internet, we weren't really in an echo chamber as per se. Post-social media, we're kind of in like an echo chamber, like a cave of people who have similar ideas. And then like post-AGI, we're sitting in a mirror looking at ourselves of all our ideas. Creation would no longer be consumer driven, but dopamine driven per the individual. I think that's a pretty good statement to summarize where it could go. There'll be quite a lot of nihilism in the world. I know I've already found it myself. It's like, fuck, like, I don't know, like, a lot of the stuff I'm doing, is there any point? Because, like, where's the world going to be? Is there going to be any point doing X, Y, and Z? What is the point of me painting if a robot can do it better than me? That's a lot of thoughts I've been having about learning. Let's say I wanted to learn to code. It's like, oh, AI is very good at that. Is there any point in even learning if AI, I'll never be able to catch up? Starting from scratch, could you ever catch up to an AI system with how fast things are improving? So I think that sense of nihilism is quite concerning, because I think it's kind of part of human nature to be creators, and then we've kind of almost self-sabotage and outsource this creation. I'm not saying like humans won't create. I just do wonder if a lot of people like myself would kind of wonder, well, what is the point of it? Despite all that, I've got this ring here. So this ring here, you know, it's nothing to the average person, too special. It's got flaws to it. The ring has flaws to it. It's not the perfect ring. Well, why do I wear it? You know, why do I wear it? And this was given to me by my grandfather before he passed away. I'm wearing it because it means something to me, because of the story behind it. And it's an innately human story. Like, I wouldn't go around wearing a ring from China, mass-produced ring. Why is that? Because it has no story to it. I think as humans, it's just something that's kind of like biologically built into us. Is we love a story, and so, you know, this has story to it and personal meaning. And so I think, despite, you know, we'd have all these AI generated content, all the super optimized for dopamine content, I don't know if humans would see them as real stories. Me knowing that this, you know, there's history behind this ring, this is why I wear it. And I think that goes for all creation. Vincent van Gogh, for example, like obviously he's an amazing artist, but there's a story behind it of him cutting off his ear. There's all these stories, you know, for all the artists or all the creation that we value, you know, like even vintage cars. A car from the 1960s, I promise you, a 2025 car will be infinitely better and make your life infinitely more simple, but people still buy these beautiful old cars. Why? Because we value them, the story behind them. Maybe, you know, for a lot of the buyers, you know, a lot of the boomers is like, hey, that was my first car. Like, why is Banksy's work, why is that so valued? Why do people love Banksy's work? Because there's a story behind it. If I did the same thing Banksy did, it has nowhere near as much value that humans put to it. Another example is Levi 501s, you know, the ones that are worn and used, more valuable than, you know, ones that are coming out brand new. It's the same thing, and I can, you know, sit here all day. You can just go give it a Google for examples of this. And so, as I end the video, it's my first video on YouTube. I just kind of leave on like maybe more of a positive note. The imperfections that we have as creators will become the value that AI does not have, or that AI could never create.